Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulullah. Now with the name Al-Jabbar or the Irresistible. The word Jabr can have several meanings, three main meanings in Arabic language. One is to compel someone or to compel people. The second is to fix something broken, Jabr. And the third is to be unreachable. The name of Al-Jabbar came in the Quran in Surah Al-Hajj, in the famous long verse that has a lot of names of Allah. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون. He is Allah besides whom there is no God. The King, the Holy, the Peace Giver, the Believer, the Overseer. You remember last time we took the Al-Muhaymin, the Overseer, the Almighty, the Irresistible, Al-Jabbar, the Sublime. Highly exalted is Allah beyond what they associate. Jabbar was mentioned 10 times in the Quran, only once as the name of Allah, and 9 times mentioned describing people in a very negative connotation. Very negatively. So the word Jabbar came only once positively as a name of Allah, and 9 times negatively describing people. These are called, there are some of the names of Allah are called Asma' al-Jalal, the names of exaltedness, which are exclusive for Allah. No one should try to have such attributes in his character, or it will not be good. Unlike the name Ar-Rahim, the merciful, you should try to be merciful. The name Al-Wadud, the most loving, you should try to be loving. The name Al-Ghaffar, which means the forgiving, you need to be forgiving. But some names, like for example Al-Mutakabbir. Al-Mutakabbir means someone who sees himself greater than others. It is not true. In case of any human being who sees himself greater than others, that's not true. So it would be very arrogant if someone sees himself greater than others. So if someone is mutakabbir, we call him arrogant. But Allah is the only one who is truly greater than anyone and anything. So the problem is, some people really feel they are better than others. And this reminds me with a great military commander at the time of the Umayyad Empire. He was walking, very proud of himself, like a peacock like that, people around him. So there was Malik ibn Dinar, one of the Tabi'een. Tabi'een means the next generation that came after the companions of Prophet Muhammad. And they were very pious people. He was sitting, he saw him, he didn't stand up, he didn't show him any respect. So he was offended. So he came next to him, he looked at him and he said, "Why didn't you show respect to me when I'm walking? Don't you know who I am?" He said, "I know you so well. You are someone who started as a disgusting drop of semen. And you are someone who will end up a rotten, dead corpse. And in between those two stages, you are someone who are carrying crap in your stomach." He told him, "You know me so well. How can anyone having crap in his stomach think himself better than anyone? Better, good even. What's that?" SubhanAllah. So among the name, also, of course, also one of the, as I told you, one of the meanings of Al-Jabbar or Jabr in Arabic is to be unreachable. So the Arabs look at the very tall palm tree and say, "This is a nakhla jabbara. This is an unreachable palm tree. Who can climb all this, height and get the dates?" It is jabbara, unreachable. And this is, of course, also very negative for a human being to be jabbar by meaning of being unreachable. Those who are unreachable are like that. They don't, of course, walk in the streets to talk to people. They don't mingle with them. They are always unreachable, maybe because they are arrogant, or maybe because they are under threat of being attacked because they are oppressors. Don't believe that when you see them like riding bicycles in the street on video. It's all setups. When videos leaked, it's a setup. They do that to show that they are just people. It's a setup. We have someone like that in Egypt who keep riding bicycles on the streets, and then it's all set up. They have bodyguards wearing sports clothes and riding with him. So the issue is, those people have to keep distance between them and people. So they are called Jabbareen. Jabbar, he's unreachable. Allah is Jabbar, but reachable. You want to reach Allah? Have wudu. Direct your face to the Qibla and say Allahu Akbar like that. You are with him. You're talking to him. You're in his presence and you're talking to him directly. So he is Jabbar, but he's reachable. Very reachable. And he is also Jabbar in terms of he is unreachable from any harm. No one can harm Allah. If all human beings and all the unseen beings or whatever gather all together to harm Allah, they cannot do anything. Jabbar also means compeller, which is negative. In case of people, negative. Those who compel their daughters to marry someone whom they don't love, that's haram, by the way. Haram. Some people in this community don't know that this is haram. Those who compel their wives to do things that they don't want, it's haram. Those who are compelling people because they are oppressing them, haram. Allah, instead of all of that, and of course there are others who compel people to accept them as their political leaders, even though they did not choose them. Either they came with a military coup or they fake elections, or both. Allah mentioned those people in the Quran. كذلك يطبع الله على كل قلب متكبر جبار. Thus Allah seals the heart of every proud compeller. Allah seals his heart. Allah does not compel, except in things which we will not be held accountable for. So the compeller, the human being compeller, he compels you to do something, and if you don't do it, he punishes you. Allah compels only in things that you are not going to be asked about. So you were not asked about your date of birth. You were compelled to be born on your date of birth, compelled to be born to die on your date of death. You are compelled to have those parents, compelled to be from that race or from that sex or from that color. Allah will not ask you about anything that he compelled you for at all. Okay? His commands, for example, he told you, pray 5 times a day. Or be nice to your neighbors. These are commands of Allah. Aren't we compelled? No, we're not compelled. A compulsion means that if you don't do it, you're punished immediately. Allah's punishment is not immediate, it's deferred to a next life as an incentive for you to be good. But compulsion here in this life by a compeller, by a jabbar, is that if you don't do what he says, you're punished immediately. You go to jail immediately. You will be flogged immediately. You'll be killed immediately. But if you don't pray, you don't get kidney failure. Your heart will not stop. Right? So that's not compulsion. There's no compulsion. That's why Allah said, let there be no compulsion in religion. Had your Lord willed, وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ لَآمَنَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كُلُّهُمْ جَمِيعًا أَفَأَنْتَ تُكْرِهُ النَّاسَ حَتَّى يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. Had your Lord willed, he could have made all people on earth believers. Are you coming to compel people to become believers? There is no compulsion in religion. His punishment and his reward are deferred to a next life to help you be good in this life. The Jabbar is also the one who fixes broken things. So when someone has a broken arm or a broken leg, he will need Jabr, he will need Jabira, a splint. Allah fixes broken things. He fixes your broken heart. When your heart is broken, who fixes it? I said before, you can love someone for several years and then lose him or lose her, either by death or by him stopping to love you. Who fixes your heart then? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who heals your wounds? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No bandage from boots will work if your heart is broken. No splint will work. Nothing from no painkiller from a pharmacy will work. Only Allah, the Jabbar, can fix your heart and can fix it for you. But this is only if you rely on Him. Only if you trust in Him. Only if you love no one more than Him. He has to be your biggest love. Then anything or anyone you lose is not really a big deal. And if you lose Him, Allah, then you have no one. That's why the scholar said, if you have Allah and you lose all people, you haven't lost anything. And if you lose Allah and have all people, you don't have anything. So, but the issue is, these are the names of exaltedness. Should it be scary for us? The name Al-Jabbar, should we be scared of them? No. The names of exaltedness like Al-Jabbar should scare Al-Jabbarin, those who are Jabbarin on earth. Should scare those who compel people, who oppress people. But oppressed people should be happy that their Lord is Jabbar above the other Jabbarin. It comforts me that the one who protects me is way more powerful than them. It shouldn't scare us. We just need to be careful not to be Jabbarin ourselves. Because some of us think that since I am not a prime minister and I'm not a president, then I cannot be a Jabbar. No, you can be Jabbar in your house. So be careful. Just make sure you are not an oppressor in your business, in your house, in your neighborhood. And then you should be very happy with that name, by the way. You should be very comforted that Allah is higher and mightier. For all that, by the way, I did not actually name or choose the translation compeller for the Jabbar, because Allah is not a compeller. I chose the name the Irresistible for the Jabbar. May Allah teach us what benefits us. And Jazakumullah khairan, barakallah fikum. Like that, we finish today's session.